오늘부터 그대는 하루도 빠짐없이 과인을 위해 요리하라. 단 하루라도 같은 음식을 올리거나 나의 입맛에 맞지 않을 시에는 극형에 처할 것이다.
K-drama fans love a good casting debate, and sometimes they're ready to riot before episode 1 even drops. But funny enough, the roles that got the most hate, they turned out to be some of the best casting choices ever. Here are 5 K-drama casting choices that proved everyone wrong in the best way possible. First up, let's talk about one of the biggest casting controversies in K-drama history, Kim Go-eun in Goblin.
잠깐만요. 저 얘기 아직 안 끝난.
The drama itself was a phenomenon, airing on TVN, streaming later on Netflix, hitting nearly 19% ratings in Korea, and going global. At the center of it all was Youn-jung, the Goblin's bride, played by Kim Go-eun. But when her casting dropped, the backlash was loud. People complained she didn't match Gong-yu's visuals. Some said she wasn't pretty enough to be a fantasy heroine, and her Instagram got bombarded with cruel comments. For a rising actress stepping into her first mega lead role, the hate was brutal. Honestly, you'd think nobody would tune in, that Goblin would end up as a cautionary tale about bad casting. But then Goblin aired, and Kim Go-eun proved everybody wrong. She played Youn-jung to perfection. What could have been a shallow high school character turned into something layered, bright and optimistic, yet scarred by loneliness, innocent but weighed down by the fate of ending an immortal's life. Her sparkling eyes, that infectious warmth, even the quiet heartbreak in her tears, it was all magic. Critics praised her natural acting as the emotional anchor of the entire show. And fans who once doubted her, they were suddenly hailing Youn-jung as one of the most unforgettable and iconic heroines in K-drama history. And we can't forget the chemistry. The romance between Eun-tak and Kim Shin, Gong-yu's character, was literally the heartbeat of Goblin. Even with a 17-year age gap, Kim Go-eun matched Gong-yu's commanding presence with playful energy and real emotional depth. Not every actress could pull that off. With the age difference, their acting experience, and all the expectations from fans, this could have gone so wrong. But their flirty banter, those heartbreaking confrontations, it gave fans everything: squeals, tears, all the feels. Many credit Kim Go-eun for making the love story feel natural, faded, and completely worth rooting for. It's crazy to think she started this role under so much scrutiny. Critics and netizens had called her plain or unfit, but by the finale, she had won over South Korea and the world. International fans called her the soul of the show, and her portrayal set the standard for future fantasy romance heroines. Next up, Youn-jung in Alchemy of Souls, Light and Shadow, Season 2.
너 누구야? 여기 어떻게 들어왔어? 대단하네. 이 방에 걸려있는 결계도 그냥 깨고 들어온 거야?
For anyone new to the series, Alchemy of Souls is an epic fantasy romance where mages swap souls, unleashing chaos, forbidden love, and destiny-shaking battles. Season 1 gave us Jung So-min as Mudeok, secretly the assassin Naksu trapped in a servant's body. Fans fell hard for her sass, wit, and that swoony chemistry with Lee Jae-wook's Jong-uk. So when Jung So-min bowed out, the fandom panicked. Like, who on earth could possibly fill those shoes? Enter Youn-jung. And here's the kicker. She wasn't just stepping into a role fans were already obsessed with, she was a rising star being compared to Jung So-min, a much more veteran actress. That mismatch had people nervous. The internet was full of Season 2 is doomed takes, and before she even appeared on screen, Youn-jung was getting hit with backlash. But then, Season 2 dropped, and all that noise? Gone. Viewers were immediately captivated, not just by her visuals, but by the way she embodied the character. She didn't try to erase what Jung So-min built. Instead, she honored it, keeping the sass, the daring spark, and the playful back and forth with Jong-uk alive. It felt seamless, like she'd always been part of the story. And then she leveled it up. In just 10 episodes, Youn-jung essentially played 4 different versions of her character: the deadly assassin Naksu, the sweet and innocent Jin Bu-yeon, the tragic Jin Seol-ran, and the ethereal Cho-young. Each one distinct, each one convincing. One moment she's cheeky and bright, the next she's cold and vengeful. That kind of range from someone still considered a rookie? Crazy impressive. Now, instead of doubting her, fans are hyped for whatever project she takes on next. The backlash days are long gone. At this point, a Go-eun casting is a reason to celebrate. Up next, Chae-min in Bon Appetit, Your Majesty.
오늘부터 그대는 하루도 빠짐없이 과인을 위해 요리하라. 단 하루라도 같은 음식을 올리거나 나의 입맛에 맞지 않을 시에는 극형에 처할 것이다.
If there was ever a casting choice fans swore would sink a drama, it was this one. Park Sung-hoon was originally set to lead, but after his scandal, production scrambled and dropped Chae-min into the role just 10 days before filming. The internet went wild. People complained about his baby face, the 10-year age gap with Youn-ah, and whether he could really pull off a tormented king. Some even said Yoon's drama was doomed to flop. But here's the plot twist. Some fans are calling it Yoon's magic, but Chae-min turned out to be the wild card no one saw coming. Despite all the doubts, he managed to click with Yoon right away. And even with his boyish looks, you could feel the weight of a king torn and burdened by his duty and his loneliness. From there, it was game over for the haters. Social media was flooded with clips, fan edits, and endless forum debates. Chae-min owned the role, much to everyone's surprise. His blend of devilish charm, gut-punch emotion, and perfectly timed humor turned King Lee-hyun into a fan favorite. Even critics who doubted him admitted he suited the role better than the original casting. Suddenly, the boyish rookie became the breakout star everyone had their eyes on. And the numbers? They backed it all up. Bon Appetit, Your Majesty premiered strong and then skyrocketed, breaking double digits by episode 4 and peaking at a massive 15.4% nationwide. In Seoul, it hit an even higher 15.81%, and on Netflix, it's been dominating global charts. Number 1 worldwide for non-English TV, 6.8 million views in a single week, top 10 across 73 countries, and still trending strong. Now critics are calling it one of the best K-drama releases of the year, and fans are already whispering that if the finale sticks the landing, it could cement itself as a modern classic, maybe even join the ranks of the all-time highest-rated dramas. So much for the bad casting. Chae-min took one of the most controversial last-minute replacements in K-drama history and turned it into the role that made him a household name. Fans who once begged for someone else are now saying he was the only one who could have pulled it off. Next up, Hye-kyo in The Glory.
좋겠어요, 선배는. 초콜릿 상자 같은 유년이었을 거고 구김 하나 없는 좋은 어른으로 커서. 그렇게 입 바른 소리만 해도 세상 살만해서.
When that casting was first announced, people weren't exactly celebrating. Let's be real, Song Hye-kyo has always been the queen of romance. Descendants of the Sun, Autumn in My Heart, she was elegance, glamour, soft heroines, all of that. So when she signed on to play Moon Dong-yoon, a broken woman plotting revenge after years of brutal bullying, the reaction was brutal too. Netizens dragged her, saying she was too polished, too expressionless, too stuck in rom-com mode to handle something this dark. Some even called her overrated and swore she didn't have the range. So when The Glory dropped on Netflix, everyone tuned in to see if they were right. And boy, let's just say they are. Song Hye-kyo transformed. No longer the glamorous leading lady, she became Moon Dong-eun, cold, meticulous, emotionally scarred, yet painfully human. Her quiet intensity, the way her rage simmered under stillness, and those subtle shifts between vulnerability and vengeance left audiences floored. Fans and critics alike admitted she leveled up her acting, with social media buzzing that she ate the role and delivered a career-defining performance. And the payoff? Huge. She won Best Actress at the 59th Baeksang Arts Awards, delivering a teary acceptance speech that felt like her own revenge arc against the doubters.
제59회 백상예술대상 TV 부문 여자 최우수 연기상 더 글로리 송혜교님 축하드립니다.
Meanwhile, The Glory became a global hit. Over 622 million viewing hours in 2023, ranking in the top 5 most watched non-English series in Netflix history and sparking nationwide conversations in Korea about bullying. She silenced every critic, proved she's more than a rom-com face, and re-established herself as one of Korea's most powerful actresses. Last on our list, Park Sung-hoon as Cho Hyun-ju in Squid Game Season 2, and oh boy, this casting caused some serious waves.
여기서 죽는 거야.
정신차려 아줌마.
포기하면 너는 천지신명이 아니라 내 손에 먼저 죽어.
Park Sung-hoon, who's usually known for playing icy, ruthless villains in dramas like The Glory, was announced as Cho Hyun-ju, player 120, a transgender woman and ex-Special Forces soldier. The reaction? Explosive. Fans and LGBTQ plus voices immediately called out Netflix and Hwang Dong-hyuk for casting a cisgender man in a trans role, labeling it a missed opportunity and another example of underrepresentation in an industry already struggling with diversity. Add to that Sung-hoon's villain-heavy resume, and social media quickly lit up with terms like queerbaiting and tokenism. Even Sung-hoon admitted he felt the pressure, saying he had a lot of concerns about offending anyone or coming across as insensitive. Yeah, the odds were not exactly in his favor. But when the season finally dropped, he completely flipped the script. Park Sung-hoon threw himself into the role, researching, working with transgender individuals, and focusing on portraying Hyun-ju with dignity rather than turning her into a caricature. The result? One of the show's most layered characters, a soldier haunted by her past, determined to fund her transition, and balancing raw strength with deeply human vulnerability. Fans couldn't get enough, praising how real and heroic she felt. Even early skeptics had to admit he handled the role with rare sensitivity. Hyun-ju didn't just become a fan favorite across seasons 2 and 3, she also sparked important conversations about transgender representation in Korean media. Advocacy groups acknowledged Sung-hoon's respectful approach as a step forward, proving that even the trickiest casting choices can sometimes surprise us in the best way. And that's the list, proof that sometimes the wrong casting ends up being the best decision ever. Now, click on this next video to meet the scene-stealing supporting actors who guarantee a K-drama is worth watching the second you see their name.